Alright, so in this video I decided to do like a Bukhara run. So, with Bukhara, the first thing you should be concerned about is the Timurids. So, Bukhara has three claimable things, and one of them is like a lot of Afghanistan. So if you're playing Bukhara, you might want to get the Afghanistan claims. But the thing is with Bukhara, it's a pretty hard like game to play. So, I'm playing as an AI here, but it feels like against a player. Unless it was like a subpar player, to put it politely, I probably would have gotten cooked. And that's simply because the Timurids have more land, more economy, and because, like, if you're the Timurids, you could generally take out a loan and get more money like that, so you can make mercenaries quicker. Because if you're Bukhara, your only real option for expansion is Baluchistan. Which, in my opinion, they should add like the rest of Pakistan, so if you're Bukhara, you might be able to get like more power from there. But anyway, I'm still in a war with the Timurids. It's a pretty long war, but it's going well so far. Again, if this wasn't AI, I don't think I would have done as well. But I'm doing just fine now. I took the main parts of the Timurids, like the fort areas, so if I go on another war with them, it probably wouldn't be as hard to conquer them. Anyway, here I'm going against Balochistan. Now, the thing with Balochistan is that it's pretty undeveloped, and you usually have to core stuff there. But that's not that big of a deal. It's just a bit of annoying. Sometimes. A little bit of annoyance. But anyway, here I'm going after the Timurids again. And the Timurids now are pretty weak. They don't have like a fort to just like hide behind. And they actually have like the manpower to sustain an invasion now. This is basically just a delayed Persia run. But to be fair, playing Bukhara is pretty fun because you're like off in the corner of the map. You usually don't have any players nearby. So it's basically just a 1v1 for just a Timurid player if there is one. I mean, sometimes there's an Ajam player, sometimes there's a Transoxiana, which, I mean, I don't really plan on playing Transoxiana because I already did the Golden Horde in one of my videos, but I might do a Jam, maybe not. Maybe do like Quarkonoilu. That seems more fun. Or Akonoilu, one of those. Anyway, Bukhara gets like unique claims, and I use that on Transoxiana. Here I'm just going after the one province the Timurids still have left, but the little problem here is that I didn't core a lot of stuff, so if you're playing Bukhara, just make sure to core stuff, if you're able to. But anyway, because of political power reasons, a jam, it took a little bit longer. Which, I mean, that's fine, I guess. I'm just carpet sieging them, like, slowly, because, I mean, carpet sieging is usually, like, a term you'd use for, like, multiple armies, like, sieging multiple provinces at one time against, like, a bigger enemy. But I didn't really have the gusto to do that at the time. Anyway, the Ottomans are all over invading Quarkonoilu. I'm invading some more of Iran. I got some more, well, not that many rebels, but I got some rebels. Those go away. Or somewhere. Anyway, I go after, I think, like 2 or 3 more Persian states, and then I form Iran as Bukhara. And by the way, Bukhara should really be called, like, at least in my opinion, should be called Afghanistan, because, I mean, that's what it is. Bukhara is like a province over in, like, Central Asia. Because Bukhara used to be, like, a big trading city back in the day. I mean, that's just from my memory, but it used to be a big trading city, I think. Anyway, here I'm going after Timurids, here I'm going after Transoxiana to just, like, mob up more stuff, because if I don't, the Golden Horde might just, swoop on down, because that is Horde land. Anyway, I am close, I think, to forming Persia. Yep, there we go. I got Persia. And around now, I want to, like, mop up land. But also, I don't think I mentioned, Persia gets, like, unique, claims, I think. Anyway, here I want that Keshem Island. I think that's how you pronounce it. But anyway, I also want, like, a vassal. I mean, not right now, but later I got the plan for, like, a vassal. And the thing with a vassal is that they give you some extra manpower and money sometimes, so it's kind of nice. Oh yeah, I don't think I also mentioned Oman. It might look small, but I played it like for 5 minutes. I wanted like a picture of Pakistan, like a suggestion, but they actually have a lot of claims. So if you want like a unique run, you might want to try Oman. I don't know. Anyway, I do a little glance over Europe. Venice is over, and Venice being Venice. I claim a jam, and I'm planning to mop with the rest of the Caucasus. But the thing is, Georgia, I think they're still orthodox in this game right now. So, yeah. Anyway, Karabakh had a lot of unrest. I'm not sure if the video caught that because this is going on 12.5 times speed, but they had a lot of unrest from memory. Anyway, I suggested a little rebel revolt thing over there. And the Ottomans are just kind of chilling. They're making, I think, 20-ish gold from their Constantinople trade. At least I think that's what they told me. Well, I don't know. Anyway, there is no Horde player, so I could have theoretically expanded north for now, but I didn't want to, because firstly, that apparently means the borders look pretty bad. Other than like maybe 2 provinces in the Caucasus, and that's not really worth a big war over. Anyway, the Ottomans are over. I think they're trying to expand into Europe. Here I'm just kind of observing Persia. My plan is to core some stuff, because right now I don't really have any of Iran cored, basically. I think I may have like 1 province, maybe 2. That's like at best. Yeah, I have some in the south, I think, but if you're called Persia, you should probably have Persia cored, you know? So that's kind of my goal here, at this like point of the thing. Anyway, Theodore was over invading the Golden Horde. You might be able to see that. I saw that Qatar had a diamond province, I think, so I just invaded them. I don't think they're actually called Qatar. I think it's just called Bahrain. But I core Qatar and Bahrain. I don't puppet them or do that, I think, now, anyway. But I built extraction, like resource extraction in my Persian lands to try and get more money. And I think it worked pretty well. Here I'm just going back to like coring some more Persia, which I do pretty successfully. I get basically the entirety of non-Persian Persia, excluding the Caucasus. Okay, that doesn't make that much sense, but I think you could tell what I mean by like the video. Anyway, I have some vassals over in Arabia, which may look the diplomat look a little bit better. But around now, I'm trying to invade the Ottomans, like at least I'm planning to. Also, I have some provinces converting that's like boost the Persian unity, at least so far as I'm aware. Also, Naples had a foothold in North Africa, and here I'm just kind of waiting for political power. Well, I was a little bit earlier. Anyway, I form an army. Forms like multiple groups. And my goal here is to just like carpet siege the Ottomans. And it goes pretty well. It goes pretty well in my opinion. Anyway, off we go. Now in this war, the Ottomans, they have like a northern flank advance. So, like northern Syria, Turkey, that's like the main area they counterattacked in. But I sent my army back and Turkey began to get sieged again. But the south, the Ottomans just like the Ottoman AI just completely sold that. Egypt basically just fell. I'm already in the Balkans. I'll make some comments on Morocco since in the server it's like 1620 already. Because Persia's pretty far off in the distance, so it's not that close to Europe. So Persian troops in Europe probably wouldn't have it until like 1600 unless there's like a big coalition. Persia has allies, they could just like send troops over like that. But that did not happen here. Well, not that way anyway. Also, I tried to take Iraq like completely, but that just did not work. So I decided to try and maybe get some more war score. But it didn't. I mean, it kind of worked, but I don't think I got everything of Iraq. Yep, there we go. So basically, I just reduced the Ottomans to like Byzantine borders pre-Arab conquests. Anyway, I still have some claims on the Ottomans, so this section of the video is more like me bashing the Ottomans, and it goes pretty well because I eventually get into like Egypt and that stuff, but as of now I'm trying to centralize and core most of Persia because if you have a lot of uncored territory, that tends to not end that well from personal experience. Anyway, I form more army groups and send them over to the Ottoman frontier. I was checking the culture map and the Afghan culture expanded a little bit, which is pretty cool. But anyway, I cored some more Persian land, and if I go into the Ottomans again. Now I'm just kind of baiting the Ottoman army like away from me, and then I form an army up and attack them directly. Now I did attack them in two like flanks, which made the battle go easier in my opinion. But one thing I want to do as Persia here is to not take Mecca by force, because that's just not cool. Generally. Anyway, I have my army over in Turkey. It's doing pretty good in my opinion. I sent an army down to Egypt, and I have 10, well, I don't, but Turkey has like 16k over in European lands. Anyway, here I was invading the Balkans. I saw 4 beam boats on Jerusalem, so I just kind of snagged it. Worked pretty well in my opinion. And I got Mecca without sieging Mecca, and I approve of that. At least here. But the thing is, I don't actually like fully push out the Ottomans from the Arabian lands, because that's just, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Because keep in mind, this video is in 12.5 times speed, so it's been roughly 11 minutes since the start of the video, 11.5 minutes. So that multiplied by 12.5 is, you're already getting to the hours. So at this point I'm starting to get a little bit more tired. So spoiler, I don't actually conquer like all the way into Greece or something like that, but I do conquer a fair bit of Atlantis, Bukhara. I could have probably still kept going, you know, if things turned out like that, but they didn't. Anyway, I sent 2 armies over into Europe. I just kind of snuck them by the Ottoman army, but the Ottomans just kind of sneaked, and I kind of got screwed over there. But it's no big deal. I have 2 armies in Europe again, and they're just kind of sieging some stuff down. Oh yeah, I didn't mention Morocco's invading Naples there, I think. He had like his own separate war going on. But I'm sieging some more Ottoman land, just a little slow slug to get more land. The Ottomans are now divided in half, and I core the entirety of Iraq. And now the core map is looking pretty good for Persia. But I still have like Egypt missing, so I do some future wars to get Egypt, which I thought would be pretty easy, like for the economy. Because Egypt, at the start of the game, like the Mamluks have a lot of trade stuff, but that's not how that played out in this game. That's just not how that played out. So, if you're from like a Middle Eastern empire, something you might want to do is conquer Constantinople and conquer the Egyptian nodes, so you could like transfer stuff like that. Basically, if you got a king in the borders, you should probably conquer Constantinople, unless you have like a big naval rival, then you might want to collect some Persia. Because if you block off the sea and there's no Arabian player, then there's no Suez Canal as far as I'm aware, so I don't expect Venetian navy to just teleport to Sudan. Well, close to Sudan. Anyway, I have my army ready again and invade the Ottomans. Now, the Ottomans actually sent a big army this time, so I can combine my forces and attack the Ottomans. And also I attack the Roman vassal they had. And I just go ahead and siege Constantinople, which works pretty well. Now I go for a little carpet siege. I formed some armies over in eastern Anatolia, because the battle with the Ottomans kind of depleted my forces a little bit, and I didn't want that to be depleted that much. Anyway, I'm sieging Jerusalem over there, and I cored some more land, except for like the rich parts of Syria. I just cored the poor parts of Syria, which I mean, that's fine, I guess. Anyway, I'm sieging more of Egypt now. The Ottomans basically siege the entire thing for like a full, maybe. Anyway, Persia's name tag looks kind of glitched after that, so my goal is to just like advance to Arabia a little bit, which does happen. Najd gets invaded and just annexed, basically. I had a good reason though. Anyway, as Persia here, my objective is to try and get Egypt, but Morocco is trying to vassalize the Ottomans here, I think. And he does that successfully. Also, I take Bahrain, finally. Well, it really wasn't in Bahrain anymore, but you might get the idea. Anyway, I try and claim the rest of Egypt around now. The Ottomans, as I said earlier, still have the lands in Yemen, which is... yeah. Also, the Ottoman core map looks kind of funny. Anyway, I advance into the Ottomans again. A little war with the AI. I think this would be the last war of the run, because I was getting pretty tired at this point. But I'd say this is a pretty successful Bukhara run. I think I did a pretty good job expanding it. Next I'm planning to do like maybe something in Italy. If not Italy, maybe Nevers, France. I did like a off-camera run and I did pretty good in that run, so I think one of those two basically. Unless I do like a third vote, I don't know. But anyway, I'm getting my army to just invade Egypt, and it works. It works. As far as I'm aware, it works. And the Ottomans lose their army over there. The Roman vassal is being annoying. And I took a little screenshot because they did pretty good against the Ottomans there. And they just sieged everything except like Yemen. I think they're... I don't think I like religiously converted that area of Bahrain. But the wars in this run are over. There's not much left, so around here I cut the run off. So hope you guys enjoyed.